Live from Pittsburgh, it's part 2. Rona Sutton's review of Die Valkyrie presented by the Met. So now we get to the singers. The singing overall was fantastic, but one singer, to me, stood out quite a bit above the others, and that was Stephanie Blythe playing Fricka. She is a phenomenal singer in my opinion. This is the third time I've heard her live. I heard her about a year or two ago in Pittsburgh singing Delilah in Samson and in Delilah. And I also heard her singing many years ago in Rodelinda. She had a small part. This woman has a phenomenal voice of size, beauty, expressivity, you name it. She's got it. She was such a dominant force as Fricka. She was really fierce in her portrayal of this character. You bought it 100%. She made Bryn Terfel look like a midget when she was in her full wrath and fury. So, Stephanie, number one, brava. I'm going to try to see you whenever I can. Next in line in terms of greatness was Yonas Calvin. He's the reason I bought my ticket. I wanted to hear him live. A lot of people have said that Yonas Calvin's voice isn't that big, he's not really a Helden tenor. Those people should go sit in a corner. They don't know what they're talking about. He has a big voice. It's not a giant voice, it's just plain big. If you can fill the Met, it's a big voice. He also knew very well how to pace it, because the second half of Act 1, I feel that once Hunden goes to sleep, then the opera really starts. He paced himself so that he could keep building and building vocally and intensity, so that the end of Act 1 is just so thrilling. And it wasn't just thrilling to me, because I heard the audience erupt. They loved it. It was fabulous. He is a terrific singer with a gorgeous voice, a great technique. He has what all the singers had there that day, a lot of breath and a lot of vocal resources to get over the orchestra. So, Yonas, you did not disappoint me one bit. He's also a very good actor. And he's also very good looking on stage. So all of this helps, of course. Then the other three principals were all very good, but they were not as good, in my opinion, as either Miss Blythe or Mr. Kaufman. So we'll start with Bryn Terfel, singing Wotan. Unfortunately, he had to follow in the footsteps of James Morris, who owned the role for 40 years, and I think has set the standard for what a great Wotan is. Bryn Terfel had his own take on it, and he has a voice that he loves to manipulate, and I love to hear him do it. He can sing softly and sweetly. He also pronounces things so well. I sometimes wonder if these people who are Welsh, whose language, when you look at it, looks like all consonants, whether it helps them when they have to pronounce German, because the consonants are so important. But regardless, he did a wonderful job. He is a terrific actor. His acting was so good that at the end of the opera, where he sings his beautiful long monologue, I welled up with tears in my eyes. I'm not an opera crier in general, but very often I will sort of choke up and tear up. And that's what happened to me at the end of the opera. His singing was magnificent, and his portrayal of the god who has to put his daughter to sleep, really killing her, was very moving. Then next comes Deborah Voigt, who was Brunhilde. A lot has been written about her taking on this role. I saw her in the live feed as Minnie in Fanciulla del West. I did not care for it at all. I also saw her little 1-minute clip where she sang the Hi-to-ho-ho at the beginning of Act 2. I did not care for that on the clip that the Met put out. That was the low point of her singing for the day. Okay, so why did they put that out? Why not put out something that she sang really well? What is wrong with people? So her whole portrayal was wonderful. She was a complete character, and I also criticized her acting. From the little clip that I had seen, she was absolutely fantastic in the role as a whole. All the acting was superb. her voice doesn't have the right glow for Brunhilde, but neither did Hildegard Behrens, or whatever her name was. I didn't care for her at all when she sang it at the Met. And I haven't cared for a lot of other Brunhildes either. So she's just another Brunhilde that I don't really love. But you know what? She pulled off the role beautifully. Brava to you. It's a really hard role. She got tired at the end. But you know what? It's forgivable. It's a really tough role. Okay, going on. Next was Eva Maria Westbrook, the Dutch soprano. I also heard her on a little clip. To me, that was one big vibrato, a little bit wobbly. And that's exactly how she sounded in the house. It's an enormous vibrato. When she first came on, it was jarring and I didn't like it. But actually later, I kind of got used to it and it didn't bother me. Then she also has to sing her part, the O Herstes Wunder, which we all wait for. She did it wonderfully. I mean, everybody's waiting. And she delivered the goods. That's all you can ask for. I also think she has a gorgeous voice. I love the sound of her voice. In a very small role was somebody named Hans-Peter Koenig, who played Hunding. I thought he had a very good voice. It's an extremely small role. The 8 women who played the Valkyrie sisters were fabulous. I don't think you could find 8 better singers to sing the sister act. They were terrific, and they had great staging to do. So overall, A+ for all the singing, with special kudos to Stephanie Blythe, who in a cast of stars stood out. That's hard to do. Then we come to James Levine, his conducting and his vision musically of the opera. I found Act 1 slow, Act 2 slow. Specifically, the first half of Act 1 was really deadly slow. The great part in Act 2, where Brunhilde tells Siegmund about Valhalla, was really slow, too slow. But Act 3 was kind of like zippity-doo-dah. It just went right along. And the orchestra, of course, plays wonderfully. One of the things that I think is a hard thing for all of us today is we listen to music on our iPods. We have those 2 little things in our ears, and we hear the music so loud. And then you go to the theater. It's never going to be that loud for you. And the beginning of Die Walküre, that has that rumbling, energetic music to take you all the way down to the bowels of the earth, did not have the expansive quality that I'm used to hearing on my iPod, so that was a little bit disappointing. But everything else in the opera musically was fantastic. So all around, I say this was a great day for vocal beauty, portrayals, everything. There's going to be an encore presentation of this at some time in a theater near you. I hope everybody goes and sees it and has a good time. So I'll be back here next season doing a review of I don't know what, but for sure I'm going to try to do it. I want to see the Pearl Fishers that the Pittsburgh Opera is going to put on. They're also doing Tosca with Angela Brown, and I really want to hear her. And I don't know whether I'll get to the Met next year. I would like to, but if not, it'll be another year. So have a great summer, everyone. Bye.